Today, I'm going to show you guys 5 things you need to do to turbo your car successfully. To go from a naturally aspirated pig to a twin turbo beast, just like this one behind me. This is our Whitie build. It is a 5.2 liter V8 that we have twin turboed with 2 GT35s. This was a naturally aspirated truck. No boost, no pro charger, no nitrous, just naturally aspirated before we put the turbos on. And there's 5 big things you need to do to make a boosted setup like this, or a different turbo setup, or a pro charger setup work for your car. The first thing that you guys need to do, since you're introducing positive pressure into the intake manifold, aka boost, with either a turbo setup or a supercharger setup, is you need more fuel for the more amount of air that is coming in from those systems. So the first thing that you need to do is actually upgrade your injectors like we have right here. This is an 80-pound injector over the stock 16-pound injectors. What the pound rating is actually the flow rating. The higher the pounds, the more flow rating. And why you need bigger injectors is because you guys are going to be pushing way more air into this engine than it was naturally aspirated. It's going to need a lot more fuel, so you got to run bigger injectors. Plus, like me, if you're going over to E85, you're going to even need bigger injectors because ethanol takes 20% more fuel than over conventional gas. So the first thing we're going to do is get these injectors swapped in there. So for simplicity's sakes, we pulled the fuel rail out. We've gotten all 8 of the stock injectors out. I'm right now actually cleaning the bores of the fuel injector rail because this rail is pretty rusty and crusty, and we want those new injectors to go in nice and smoothly. So now we're going to be putting in our new 850cc or 80-pound injectors in right now, and we have lubricated the O-ring just a tiny bit with some engine oil, and we are going to start stabbing these guys in one by one. There's one. Just 7 more to go. Alright, so now that we got all 8 injectors replaced with these upgraded injectors, you can see these stock injectors do look bigger, but their flow rating is so much littler that they cannot support that extra fuel we need to make this twin turbo thing a beast. So, we're going to get this fuel rail installed, and then we're going to move right into the second big portion of the video. And just like that, we have all 8 of our injectors and the fuel rail installed into our motor. And this brings us on to our second big part of the video. And that is, again, another thing to do with fuel systems. So now that we have the injectors to flow the amount that these turbos are going to push into here, we also need a fuel pump to push and flow enough for those bigger injectors. And we have this guy right here already installed. The stock pump is only rated for 200 liters per hour, and this guy in this pump right here is rated for 450 liters per hour. So that will provide us just enough flow for our injectors to feed the beast. So to do that, we got to get this truck up on the hoist and pull the tank down. We got the truck lifted up on the hoist. We got the fuel tank sitting on the ground. We got the old fuel pump sitting right there. And let's walk over and take a little looky over here. So we got the stock fuel pump right here with the stock fuel pressure regulator. It's that tiny little pump on the inside right there. And it's just probably rated for about 200 liters per hour. And it's just not going to support the fuel needs we are going to need for those injectors and this boosting system. So we are going over here to Walbro 450 and the actual fuel sending unit out of my 2004 Dodge Ram SRT10. So this fuel pressure regulator that's built into this fuel pump assembly will bring the fuel pressure up to 60 psi compared to this one, which was only 43 or 50 psi, I can't remember. It was a lot lower than what it was. So we got a bigger fuel pump than the stock one, and we got a higher pressure fuel pressure regulator than the stock one. So this is just going to be an all-around better thing. So we're going to get stabbed into this tank, and we're going to get it reinstalled into the truck, and we're going to move on to the big third part of the video. So now that we got the full fuel system in, we got a pump, we got bigger injectors, we are ready for the fuel side of boost. Now we need to move on to part 3 of what you guys need, and that is going to be an upgraded map sensor from the stock one. This is the stock 1 bar, or this one actually doesn't see anything above vacuum. It will not see any boost at all. So you have to upgrade to a 2-bar SRT4 map sensor on this truck. You have to rewire it, and you're going to have to redo the plumbing for it because it is a little different than this tiny little vacuum line. You can see right there, we got a big hole right there. So we got this custom little bracket. I'll show you guys. Its paint is drying on it right now, that we have to wire in and install and run it into the plumbing system. But you need to have a MAP sensor or a MAF sensor upgraded, because for MAP, you need to be able to see positive pressure, anything over atmospheric pressure. So we could get into hardcore mathematicals of it, but the stock MAP sensor on this truck is only designed to see vacuum and no more than that. So we have to upgrade to that Neon SRT4 MAP sensor that is designed to see up to 18 PSI of boost in our configuration. So we got our MAP bar, our 2-bar Neon SRT4 MAP sensor installed on this custom little bracket slash hose fitting that I have built right here. And you can see the hose comes over here to the side of the intake manifold right there. So the next part we are going to do is we actually snipped off the stock connector for the stock MAP sensor, and due to, even if this did fit on here, which it does not, the pinout is all wrong for our 5-volt feed, our signal wire, and our sensor ground. So right now we are going to do that. So we got this connector on here. We got 3 wires attached to it. We got 3 wires coming off the harness right here. I go look at my wiring diagrams, and we are going to wire this guy together. So you guys saw me wire in that 2-bar MAP sensor, so now that our PCM can actually see boost when we build it, not just vacuum, it can see vacuum and boost. We need a way to tell it to see boost, and what we're going to do for our 4th big part is a tuner. You need something to tune your engine. We are using an SCT 3200 because I have my tuning license with SCT, because I will be tuning this truck. Because when you introduce all this more fuel, all this more boost, and all this more power, you need to adjust fuel trims, you need to adjust timing tables, you need to make this engine live a long, reliable, happy life, because if you guys don't do these things, it will not work. The other big thing you guys need to do is get a wideband O2 sensor, which we have right here. We don't have the gauge yet, it has not came in the mail yet, but we need to read actual fuel trims more than the narrowband O2 sensors that the factory trim came with, which is right here. The problem between a narrowband and a narrowband can only see such a small margin of air-fuel ratio. It's very good at seeing 14.7 to 1 AFRs and about nothing else. That's about it. It's rich or lean, and it's 14.7 is what it's shooting for. They weren't really designed to see like 11.9 to 1, which is what we're going to be shooting for now with our E85 boosted V8 here. So we need that wideband to hook up to our SCT so we can tune it to the proper AFR field trims. You will need to do that for your tuner, or the dyno shop might have one too, so contact your local dyno shop of what they have and what they want to do with your boosted engine. And our 5th and final big part of building a boosted engine successfully is a turbo kit or a supercharger kit, guys. Like this one, this sick twin turbo setup that we built in-house from scratch. As you guys saw in my last like 8 videos of us building this in the garage. If you guys want to check those videos out, the link will be right there. This has been a really fun project, guys, and we're almost getting done with the project. We just need to finish up and button up some few little things before we can do a huge street hit. So guys, I hope you like this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Give me a comment down below of if you have any questions, if you are going from naturally aspirated to a boosted engine. But as always, guys, keep it boosted, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace! Before we end this video, guys, I got a few things I need to say. I did have an issue with the fuel pump itself. The SRT10 fuel system, or the fuel actual assembly, did not line up to the fuel line, and it would kink it when I put it in. So guys, the other issue is, so I tried to move that Walbro 450 into the stock pump for the stock tank in that truck. The issue I had with that was the stock fuel pressure regulator actually necks down to like 5/16. That's absolutely tiny, and with E85 that's just not going to support our fuel needs for our power goals in this truck. So we are going to have to put a full fuel system in, from fuel cell to fuel pumps to fuel pressure regulator and everything in between. So stay tuned for an awesome video of that with the full fuel system install and build and everything. The other thing too is I feel like I cut you guys short on the tuner and the wideband O2 sensor. So we are going to be making more videos. I will make a video of installing the wideband O2 sensor, so make sure to subscribe. We're going to come up to a video with that. And then with the tuner, I will show you guys how to build some base maps for these trucks. So again, subscribe and stay tuned for that, because I will go way more in depth than I did in this video just talking about it. We'll actually bring it up and show you guys how to do that stuff. So if you guys noticed, I was wearing a Racing Ram Fam t-shirt in that video. I don't know if you guys saw in my last video too, I was wearing a Racing Ram Fam t-shirt. Those were just like a quick build of a t-shirt that I made at home just to see if you guys were interested in that stuff. I am going to purchase a small amount of t-shirts, and if you guys are interested, they are going to be awesome. I will show them to you guys before I take any orders, but they are black with the red logo across the t-shirt, and they are really sick, and I'm excited for them. As always guys, we post videos every Wednesday at 5:30 every week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notifications. As always guys, keep it boosted, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!